Yes, my people. UFC 324 is done and dusted, and we've now got UFC 325 upcoming this weekend. And I'm going to be giving you my predictions and breakdowns as usual. So let's get into it, guys. Obviously, we thank God because we had a little, 6 weeks hiatus from the UFC, and they came back, with a bang, two back-to-back good cards. So let's get into it, guys. We're gonna go straight to the main card, as you guys already know. That's how I usually do it. So kicking off the main card, we've got Quillian Salakid. I've forgotten how to say his name versus Jamie Mulalaki. This is short and simple for me. I'm going with Salakil. I've seen few of his, I saw most of his most recent fights, and boy, what a good fighter. The way he sets things up, even without setting things up, he's very I would say very unpredictable. And I think Jamie Mulalaki is going to, I don't know much about Jamie Mulalaki, but I think he's going to struggle with Salakid just with how unpredictable Quillian Salakil is. So I'm going Quillian Salakil. You know what? I'm going TKO for Salakid in the first or second round. We move on to a heavyweight bout, which is Taito Ivasa versus Talison Teixeira. And, I know Derek Lewis knocked out. Let me double check that, because that was on my birthday, actually. And yeah, he did knock him out. Yeah, he did. I remember. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, he knocked it. So Derek Lewis knocked out Talison Teixeira in his last fight. And boy, what a spectacular fight. I know Taito Ivasa is ranked number 12, and he's been in there with some good guys. But I just don't think Taito Ivasa takes this sport serious enough to ever be, a top contender or. So I'm going Talison Teixeira. I think Talison Teixeira is probably going to run through him. I mean, before he fought Derek Lewis, he was, beating everybody, and, he had a high ceiling. Obviously, losing to Derek Lewis, it's not really that bad because Derek Lewis is a UFC vet. So, but in this fight, I'm going Talison Teixeira because, I just don't think Taito Ivasa is serious enough for this sport to be taken serious. That's just my opinion, but I'm going Talison Teixeira by knockout or TKO, whatever you want to call it. We move on to Rafael. Hey, this fight has the potential to, I can't lie, guys, this card is good. The 3 fights that I'm gonna predict next, boy, that's 3 back-to-back bangers. So next up, we got Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Huffy. And guys, this is an interesting matchup because it's orthodox versus unorthodox. And what I mean by that is Rafael Fiziev has such good Muay Thai kickboxing. And I would say he is the orthodox fighter. He sticks to his basics. He does, not necessarily the most flashy stuff, but the stuff that's going to win you fights. He sticks to the fundamentals. And you have Mauricio Huffy, who is quite unorthodox in the way he does things. He really reminds me of a prime McGregor. And, I don't know, man. I just feel like, obviously, with this fight, because it's going to be a stand-up, it's going to be a stand and bang. I think Mauricio Huffy, obviously, in his last fight, he struggled against Saint Denis and got submitted. I don't think he's going to have to worry about that in this fight. So I think he'll be able to get into his rhythm and make things, because he is a quite unpredictable fighter, to be honest. It's just, we know Fiziev has experience, he's tough, but again, it's the shots you don't see. So this is not really a long shot, but if someone said to me they're picking Rafael Fiziev to win against Mauricio Huffy, I wouldn't actually argue. I would say fair enough because I can see that. But I'm going to go with Mauricio Huffy because I think he's going to be hungry and eager for a win. And I just think because he's so unorthodox, like Fiziev struggled with Justin Gaethje in both fights. And Gaethje kept landing the uppercut and he actually dropped Fiziev with that. And, you know, we've seen when Huffy is throwing his uppercut, it can be very devastating. And the way Huffy has landed one of his uppercuts in previous fights was very unpredictable. So I think Mauricio Rafi probably would have watched enough tape of Fiziev and found some holes that he can exploit, where he can use his unorthodox style to exploit again Fiziev's mistakes. So I'm going Mauricio Huffy by TKO. I know, guys. I know Fiziev has been in there with some killers, but I'm going Huffy, man. Next up, as the co-main event, which is actually a banger, we've got Dan Hooker versus Beneil Saint Denis. Benoit Saint Denis. You know what it is, guys, yeah? My thing with this fight is Saint Denis is going to try and be in Hooker's face and, you know, piece him up a little bit on the feet. And then in the midst of that, he's going to try and take Dan Hooker down. We all know that. He's going to get into Dan Hooker's face, try and back him up against the cage from as soon as the bell goes. And when he gets him backed up against the cage, he's going to let his hands go. And then eventually, when he sees the opening, he will shoot for the takedown. So it makes it a very interesting fight. However, I don't think Saint Denis is an Arman Sarukian. I don't think Saint Denis is an Islam Makhachev. So I don't think Saint Denis is going to be able to control Dan Hooker on the ground. And we all know Dan Hooker is a very dangerous striker, and he doesn't mind getting blooded up and having a scrap. That's what Dan Hooker loves. So, you know, it's interesting because, listen, Saint Denis will have his way at some point in this fight where, you know, he probably will rough Hooker up a little bit and, you know, take him down, but Hooker will be able to get back up. And I do think with Hooker, if he threatens some submissions against Saint Denis, I'm not saying he'll get it, but I think he has more of a chance of getting a submission over Saint Denis than when he fought Arman Sarukian. And I just genuinely don't think Saint Denis will be able to hold Hooker down the way an Arman Sarukian or Islam Makhachev can do. So, you know, I don't know, man. It's very hard to predict this one, because if Saint Denis can have his way on the ground, then Hooker loses this fight. But if Hooker can get back up to his feet and, you know, because it will get messy, but I think Hooker out of the two will do better when it gets messy on the feet, because I do think he is the better striker. And you know what, Dan Hooker, he's got a lot to prove, man. He's probably never gonna get a title shot, but like if he loses to Saint Denis, it's kind of like, bro, it's not looking good for your career. So, you know, for old time's sake, and because I do think Dan Hooker can have his way on the feet, and I genuinely don't think Saint Denis will be able to hold Dan Hooker, I'm going to go with Dan Hooker, probably by decision. It's 3 rounds, so it'll probably go the distance, and I'm going to pick Hooker to win this one by decision. So, yeah, that's my pick for that one. And then that's obviously the co-main. And then lastly, the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time. We have Alexander Volkanoski versus Diego Lopez for the featherweight title. Again. Yes, guys, again. You see, with Diego Lopez, you know what annoyed me when I watched his first fight with Volkanoski? It's like, listen, Diego Lopez is a good fighter, but to me, he doesn't have any like you fought Volkanoski, who is just so technical, who can pick you apart, and you had no answers. Like you didn't even try and make it a dogfight. Like Alexander Volkanoski was literally picking you apart for 5 rounds. Like obviously Volkanoski is so skilled, well-rounded, very skilled. He's a very, very, very high IQ fighter. You know, very, very technical fighter. And I just thought like I've seen Diego Lopez enough now, and to me, he just doesn't have any like I don't want to say he doesn't have a high IQ, but it's like you don't have, what's the word? I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say, but I'm sure you guys get what I mean. Like there's just no, it's like you're just a brawler. There's no like technique to you. Obviously there's technique, like the way he throws his punches, but you guys know what I mean. Like there's no, oh, set this up. I'll throw a jab to the body and then jab to the head, get him to drop his hands and then go up. It's like no. I'm gonna come forward. I'm gonna be in your face and I'm gonna try and rough you up. That's kind of Diego Lopez's style. And obviously, if he can make it chaotic, that's where he's gonna thrive. Because when that happened with Gene Silva, Diego Lopez seems to be able to stay calm in those moments and find the kill switch. So if he can make this fight like that, then he wins. But I don't think he can. I genuinely don't think he can against Volkanoski. The only thing I will say is he did catch Volkanoski in the first fight when they exchanged in the pocket. And Alexander Volkanoski went down on one knee, got straight back up. So clearly he has power, but is it enough to stop Volkanoski? Because I do think if you can't put Volkanoski out like how Ilya did, I don't think you can beat Volkanoski. Like, if you're going to go 5 rounds with Volkanoski, you're going to lose that fight. Obviously, I know he lost to Islam Makhachev, which was a bit skeptical. And obviously, Islam is a weight class above. So, you know, it was a tough ask. But if you're going 5 rounds with Alexander Volkanoski in the featherweight division, I don't think you beat Alexander Volkanoski. And you know what? I see the fight going a similar way. I see Alexander Volkanovski just, you know, racking up points every round and kind of schooling Diego Lopez. But I no go lie. I no go lie. Genuinely, like my friend asked me about 2 weeks ago, who do I think wins the rematch? And I actually said, I think Diego Lopez chins Volkanovski this time. I'm not going to lie, guys. This sport is an unforgiving sport. And I just feel like the past 2 years or 3 years, shall I say, that Volkanovski has just been tough, man. Tough on the body, tough on the brain. Obviously, he had to take time out because he had 2 back-to-back knockouts. And I know he did well against Lopez in the last one, but I just feel like if that chin gets tested again, I do think Volkanovski is going to sleep. Or he'll be hurt bad and Diego will jump on him. So guys, as much as... Listen, I'm a big Alexander Volkanovski fan and I want to go with Alexander Volkanovski. My heart is telling me to go with Alexander Volkanovski, but my head is telling me to go with Diego Lopez. Because I do think Diego Lopez will catch Volkanovski. I honestly do think he will catch him again. But I do think this time it's going to be worse than the first time, because I just think Diego Lopez is so hungry. He's got nothing to lose. And I just think, you know what? I think in this fight, because to be honest, he doesn't have to worry about anything with Alexander Volkanovski. I don't think Alexander Volkanovski can knock out Diego Lopez. The only way Volkanovski can beat Lopez is 3 points. But I do genuinely feel like in this rematch, Diego Lopez, a part of him is going to say, you know what? I've got nothing to lose here. I'm fighting for the belt a second time. I'm fighting the same guy. So I'm going to have to take chances. If Diego can make this fight chaotic, because Alexander Volkanovski is such a technical fighter. When you're fighting technical fighters like Alexander Volkanovski, if you can make it a chaotic fight, get in his face, beat him up, you know, then I think, and I do think Diego Lopez is going to try and do that. And I think, yeah, he chins Volkanovski. I'm not going to lie, guys. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe I'll change my mind closer to fight night. But as of now, I'm picking Diego Lopez by TKO. And I'm going to go 3rd round. That's just my opinion, guys. You don't have to like it, but you can respect it. So yeah, that's my breakdown and predictions for UFC 325. Like I said, guys, maybe closer to the time, I will have a different opinion on some of the fights, but that's what I'm picking as of now. Guys, like and subscribe, please. I see a lot of people recently have been subscribing to the channel, but still a lot of the people that are viewing the channel still aren't subscribed. So please hit that subscribe button. Obviously, I used to do Instagram reels as well, where I would upload my predictions and breakdowns, and I used to do it a bit on TikTok. I may bring that back because a lot of people have been asking about it. It's just I don't really care for Instagram and TikTok, I'll be honest, guys. But for YouTube, that's what I enjoy doing when it comes to this social media stuff. So yeah, please keep listen, I love everybody commenting. I try to reply to all the comments. Yeah, just keep commenting, keep liking, keep subscribing, guys. Keep tuning in. I appreciate every single one of yous. But yeah, like and subscribe, guys.